Welcome to PrepsNet Coach Speak with Gardendale Rockets head baseball coach Ryan Keedy. Here's your host, Aubrey Johnson.
Welcome back, Coach.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again.
All right, so we've had a spring break plus another couple of weeks. It's been a little while since we've had one of these shows. We got some stuff to talk about.
A lot of catching up to do.
A lot of catching up to do, so let's get to it. Currently, you sit at 16 wins and 8 losses, really good on the season. You played 2 games against Clay Chalkville, winning both of them 12-0 and 11-5. Clay is an area team, so that is fantastic. Tell us a little bit about those 2 wins.
We played really well. The 12-0 game, I know obviously if you hear the score, you think, well, no duh, you played well. But
right.
we really did play well. We hit the ball well. Our pitchers threw strikes. I'm not sure we made any errors. So it's always fun to play a clean, efficient game.
Yes, it is.
And then that second one, we had a little bit of a slow start there. We had some other guys in that don't normally start every day. And then
right.
we skidded at the start, but we came up with some big hits late.
Okay, yeah. Good deal. So then you played, over spring break, you played in the Gulf Shores tournament, and you played Westminster, Platte, and Marbury. Give us kind of a brief overview of each one of those.
Yeah, the Westminster game, again, a little bit of a slow start, but we scored 4 in the first. They got 1 in the top, and then we scored 4 in the bottom of the first. And then we ended up winning the game 9-1, but again, kind of same type deal. It was just a little bumpy to start.
Sure.
And then, so after that game, we played Platte County out of Missouri.
Out of Missouri, right.
And they were their divisions, I think they said they were 5A in Missouri would be comparable to 6A here in Alabama.
Okay.
And they were the state champion last year.
Wow.
And we started the game off, we walked the bases loaded with no outs.
Yeah.
Made a pitch and change and brought in one of our better relievers named Braden Chappell.
Okay.
And Braden got out of the inning, no runs.
Oh,
and so
great.
I think that catapulted us. It lifted our spirits a little bit.
Yes, sir.
We ended up winning the game 12-3.
Nice.
And that was you always joke about playing big teams. I joked with their coach after the game. I said, Coach, y'all just copy-paste 6'2", 190-pound kids, because everybody they ran up there looked like a NFL outside linebacker. It was unbelievable.
Wow.
But we played really well that game.
Yeah.
And were able to come out ahead 12-3. And then the next day, we had one day get rained out, so we only had 3 games. The final day, we played Marbury, who was very good, 5A team. And we lost the game 5-4.
Right.
We didn't play bad, just not good enough to win. We left 13 guys on base.
That's hard.
You hear that and you think, well, they didn't get a big hit, but we really did. We had several 2-out hits in the game that, we scored most of the 4, 2 or 3 of the 4 runs with 2 outs. And so we just were one hit or one play short that day.
Okay, all right. So then on April 1st and 3rd, you played Pinson Valley. Actually, you played them 3 different times and beat them 3 different times. Again, another area team. Tell us about those games.
Yes, sir. Same type deal. It was our final area series, Clay being the other one. We have a 3-team area. And then so we played really well. I thought all 3 games. Pinson had a couple of guys who threw the ball pretty hard.
Right.
And so we didn't maybe run away with it as early as I would have liked to.
Right.
Of course, you never do. But we were able to play pretty well. All of our pitchers threw strikes really well. And over the course of the 3 games, we might have made an error. So it was really good defensively for us to, again, not only win the games, but also clinch the area championship as well.
That's fantastic, and congratulations on that.
Thank you. We're excited about
wonderful. So that win was 11-1, and then you went on to win the second one 9-1, and then the last one 15-0. Tell us about that last one.
That last one was good. Just, again, from the get-go, we played really well. And it was a game to where we had won the first 2, so we had already won the series. So it gave us a chance to, play some guys who hadn't had as many innings this year. And they stepped up and did really well. We threw strikes. We got a bunch of hits. We had some really quality at-bats. Made some good plays in the field also. And so it was a good win, that's for sure.
Good. And then finally you played Homewood last Friday and bested them 6-1. Coach, your team has been on a roll through the middle of the season here. What would you attribute that to?
Well, a lot of it is, I think to do with who we've played at the beginning of the year. We've said on here a couple times about how difficult the schedule was early.
Sure.
And while you're in the middle of that stretch, there's no end in sight. Oh no, this is miserable. But
right.
The goal is to come out of the other side battle tested and playing your best baseball at this time of the year. And so I think that's probably the biggest contributor to that.
Okay. All right. Very good. Well, we've got a few more games to talk about, which we will right after this message.
PrepsNet Coach Speak with Gardendale High School head baseball coach Ryan Keedy is proudly sponsored by Campus Traditions. Go Rockets!
And we're back. Coach, this afternoon, as a matter of fact, you're leaving here in just a little bit to head over to Hueytown to play. You've played them earlier in the season. What do you think you'll see differently this time?
Well, we haven't. This will be our first time to play.
Oh, this is the first time.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But again, it's a Billy Chandler coach team who was a assistant for Rick Patterson, who was there forever.
Right.
When you go play Hueytown, you're going to get a bunch of guys who will compete.
Okay.
At the plate, they're going to be really, really tough outs. On the mound, they're going to go right at you. They'll challenge you and throw strikes. You're going to have to play really good ball to beat that team.
Okay. They're having a pretty good season.
They
right?
are. They've got a lot of wins and a lot of really good wins on their schedule as well.
Good deal. So then tomorrow you're at Mountain Brook. You haven't seen this team so far, other than maybe what you've heard along the way. What do you know about it?
Kind of the same type deal. They're going to have some prime players, guys who are very good. They've got one of the better players in our state, a kid named Caleb Barnett, who's got a really good chance to be a draft pick when it's all said and done.
Nice.
And, we've played them once a year over the last couple of years, and they've been young for a while. So now, kind of like us, all the kids are now seniors, and so it's a really good group. And, again, very similar to today. If we don't play really well, it could get ugly, and they're going to be a very good team, so we're going to have to play well.
Gotcha. So then Saturday you have John Carroll, and then on Monday you play versus Parker. Now that last game is senior night, correct?
Yes, sir.
What does that mean to you guys? What do y'all get to do?
The senior night is fun just because you don't want to say it's a loose atmosphere because you want to win the game.
No.
But it's always just fun to see the culmination of the hard work of all the guys who have put 3-4 years into our program. And for this year specifically, Caden Combs has played every game since he was a freshman.
Right.
And the rest of the guys have contributed in some way since they were in 10th grade.
Yeah.
And so you almost feel for the guys behind them because, there's not a lot of innings to get just because these guys have played and won a lot of baseball games here at Gardendale for 3-4 years.
Yeah, and come up all the same together.
That's right. Yeah, all together.
That's fantastic. Well, Coach, we want to say a hearty congratulations on winning the area.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And this kind of clears the path for you, doesn't it, for the playoffs?
Yes, sir. So being the area champion, you get to host round one.
Nice.
Which, again, is always a win. And then we will find out after Thursday who our opponent is. It's basically going to come down to the winner of Homewood and Minor.
Okay.
And so if Homewood wins, we'll host Minor. If Minor wins, we'll host Homewood.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the players for just a minute. Tell us who's got the hot bat, who's playing well, who's pitching well, that sort of thing.
One of the guys that we haven't really talked about yet that is, and again, not necessarily hitting 800 or anything like that, but a guy named Caleb Banks has been he's played third for us this year.
Yeah.
He's never played third before. He's always been an middle infielder, specifically shortstop.
Okay.
And he's dabbled in outfield some, but we had a need this year, and he's filled it, and he's done a really, really good job as far as stepping up in that role.
Right, right. And it's not exactly easy to go from one position to another.
Right, and even within the infield, you're talking about, at shortstop, the most obvious was I'm way further back. I've got more time to react. There's more responsibilities. Now I'm over at third. Hey, the ball's on me a little quicker, and now my, like you said, base hit responsibilities change slightly, and so he's done a great job. He's worked his tail off at it, and it's paying off for him.
Good. Well, obviously the whole team is playing fantastic right now. You got to be proud as you can.
Absolutely, and we mentioned this earlier, but you want to play well all year, but if you had to pick a time for your best baseball to happen, it would be this time of the year.
Right.
And so hopefully we can continue that.
All right, fantastic. Well, that's our show. We appreciate your time.
Yes, sir.
And as always, we appreciate yours. Join us in a couple of other weeks. We'll be talking about playoffs for the next Gardendale version of Coach Speak.